had always been cool with one another. They had their ups and downs, sure, but in the world of love and hip-hop, alliances shift like the wind, and they had weathered enough storms to understand the importance of having each other's backs. At least, that's how it seemed on the surface. But in a world where loyalty is constantly tested and betrayal lurks around every corner, something shifted. The friendship that had once been solid now felt strained. And this time, it wasn't a petty argument or misunderstanding. No, this time it was much more serious. It was personal, and it was about to escalate into a full-blown war. It all began when Mendeecees caught wind of something suspicious.
Children to be walking around here with a sibling.
That's not their sibling.
Thinking it's their cousin.
It is. That's what we're gonna tell them. What are you talking about?
You sound dumb.
Something shady. It wasn't just the usual rumors or whispers in the streets. This time it involved someone Mendeecees held dear, Kendra Robinson, the respected high-powered attorney. The word on the street was that Kendra, who had built a rock-solid career, was entangled in some dealings that could ruin everything she had worked so hard to build. The rumors suggested that Kirk Frost might have been involved in getting Kendra into a compromising position, one that could destroy her marriage to young Jock.
So the truth is that you have been trying to smash. I have the proof.
She said she got the proof.
And as soon as Mendeecees heard this, all bets were off. He wasn't about to let this slide. Not this time. Now, if you know anything about Kirk Frost, you know the man has a reputation, a messy one. From cheating scandals to questionable business deals, Kirk was always at the center of controversy. He had never been the picture of stability, and yet, Rashida stood by him through it all. Despite the constant drama, she chose to fight for their family, time and time again. But even Rashida had her limits. And when it came to Kendra, Kirk's actions were about to cross a line that no one saw coming. The drama started when Kirk and Kendra were allegedly working together on some legal matters. At first, it seemed innocent enough. Kendra was just doing her job, but things quickly took a turn. Their meetings became more frequent, more private, and certainly more suspicious.
What you mean? What's up?
What do you mean what I mean? How the you get around Mama D? What the y'all need that?
That's none of your business.
You know her reputation with young women, she was known to be a madam, okay? So I'm just asking, what's the relationship?
Kirk's business dealings, which had always been a bit shady, were now involving Kendra, someone who had no business being dragged into this kind of mess. It wasn't just about paperwork and contracts anymore. People started talking. They said that Kirk was using these meetings to get close to Kendra in ways that weren't exactly professional. And when Mendeecees found out how much time Kendra was spending with Kirk, things began to unravel. Mendeecees wasn't the type to sit on his feelings. So when he heard about these questionable meetings, he decided to confront Kirk. He needed answers. But when Mendeecees came face to face with Kirk, it was far from a simple conversation. It was explosive. Kirk, usually the smooth talker, was caught off guard. His usual confidence was gone, replaced with nervous stuttering and a guilty look on his face.
The deal on the text messages. Is that what we got going on? Because the fact that I'm even sitting here, even listening to this is beneath me. And I'm sick and tired of this. Straight up, what is up?
He tried to talk his way out of it, claiming that everything with Kendra was strictly business, but Mendeecees wasn't buying it. He had seen too much in the streets, and something didn't add up. Kirk was guilty, and Mendeecees could feel it in his bones. But here's the thing. This wasn't just about Kirk. Kendra's career was on the line now. She wasn't just a random woman caught up in drama. She was a powerhouse in the legal world, a woman who had worked hard to build her name, her influence, and her career. She had a reputation to protect, and now it was in jeopardy. Her marriage to young Jock, a man who was no stranger to his own drama, was hanging by a thread, and the last thing Kendra needed was to be pulled into a scandal involving Kirk. But the whispers in Atlanta told a different story. The whispers said that Kendra wasn't just working for Kirk, she was working for Mendeecees too. The same kind of legal work for both men. And that, my friends, was a huge problem. Mendeecees, ever the businessman, had hired Kendra to handle some personal legal matters for him, but when he found out she was also working with Kirk, the situation turned ugly fast. Mendeecees felt betrayed. He thought he could trust Kendra, but now it seemed like she had been playing both sides. His anger started to boil, and he decided it was time to have a private sit-down with Kirk to get to the bottom of things. But it didn't go as smoothly as Kirk had hoped. Mendeecees wasn't about to let Kirk talk his way out of this one. There were receipts, hard evidence of their secret meetings, and Mendeecees wasn't going to let Kirk get away with it. Things went from bad to worse when a voicemail surfaced, an explosive voicemail that would shake the entire city. It wasn't just any voicemail. It was a conversation between Kirk and Kendra, and the tone was anything but professional. The way Kirk spoke to Kendra, intimate, reckless, left nothing to the imagination. This wasn't about business. This was something else entirely. And here's where things get really interesting. The voicemail wasn't leaked by Kendra or Jock, as you might expect. No, the person who exposed Kirk's reckless behavior was none other than his wife, Rashida. After years of defending her husband, Rashida had finally had enough. She knew Kirk too well to trust his words, so instead of confronting him directly, she went straight to Mendeecees. She knew he would take action, and when Mendeecees got his hands on that voicemail, it was on. He didn't waste any time. He headed straight to Kirk's lounge, Frost Bistro, where Kirk was, as usual, trying to keep up the appearance of being untouchable. But Mendeecees wasn't about to let Kirk have a moment of peace. When Mendeecees walked into that lounge, he wasn't there to chat. He was there to confront Kirk in front of everyone. No more hiding, no more pretending. The tension in the air was palpable, and Kirk, who was always the one calling the shots, was suddenly on the defensive. He tried to brush it off, but Mendeecees wasn't having it. He didn't need a long speech. He got straight to the point. "What's this voicemail, Kirk?" Kirk stammered and tried to claim it was a misunderstanding. "It was just business," he said. But Mendeecees wasn't buying it. There was no way Kirk's tone and the way he spoke to Kendra were just business. The security team moved in, sensing the danger, but Mendeecees made it clear. If there was anything more than business between Kirk and Kendra, there would be consequences. And just like that, the whole situation went from messy to explosive. But Kirk didn't learn his lesson. Despite the confrontation, he still had the nerve to meet with Kendra again. And this time, it wasn't just a quick business meeting. It was another one of those secret private meetings that were starting to make everyone suspicious. The worst part? Young Jock didn't hear about it from his wife or from Kirk. He heard it from Mendeecees. When Mendeecees saw that Kirk was still meeting with Kendra after everything that had gone down, he knew he had to let Jock know what was really happening. Jock was no fool. He might joke around and play the part of the fun guy, but when it came to his wife, he wasn't playing any games. When he found out that Kirk was still meeting with Kendra, Jock's blood boiled. He wasn't going to let this slide. He marched straight up to Kirk and got in his face. "So, you're meeting with my wife behind my back now?" he demanded. Kirk tried to downplay it, but Jock wasn't having any of it. Jock pulled out his phone, hit play, and there it was, the voicemail. The same voicemail that had caused Mendeecees to lose it. The same voicemail that exposed Kirk's reckless behavior. And when the voicemail played, Kirk's face turned a pie, shade of guilt he couldn't hide. Now, Rashida walked into the lounge and she knew something was off. She saw the tension, the stares, and the guilt on Kirk's face. Without saying a word, she looked at Kirk, then at Jock, and put two and two together. She didn't need to yell. That silent stare was enough. If Rashida was finally done defending her husband, things were about to get really bad for him. The whole situation had reached a boiling point. People were commenting, saying things like, Rashida has been playing herself for years. Ain't no way she just now sees Kirk for who he really is. Others said, Mendeecees is standing up for Jock more than Jock is standing up for himself. This is wild. So now, the real question is, what's next? Is Rashida done with Kirk for good? After everything, will she finally walk away? What about Kendra? Is her career ruined because of this mess? And what's Mendeecees' next move? Does he have something else planned? Or is this just the beginning? Kirk might have thought he could talk his way out of it. But now, with all these people involved, Jock, Rashida, and Mendeecees, Kirk's world is about to come crashing down. What do you think? Is Kirk's reputation beyond repair? Did Kendra make a huge mistake? And who leaked that voicemail? Because you know someone had an agenda. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over.